Hello viewers, Super GT here. Now I'm going to be driving the Ford GT40, a classic race car. Turns out it's a bit of an OP wagon in S-Class. So when an OP wagon comes along, you know, I've got to give it a go. And the natural home for this car, of course, is at Le Mans. So let's go off the line, just one lap of the full circuit with the chicanes. So of course back in the day they wouldn't have been using the chicanes. But in this race we are. So deal with it. Into the first chicane here, the Dunlop chicane, in there nicely. Now this car, you often find this in this game with these older cars, they have weird handling. They handle very strangely, but I can say already that this thing has absolutely phenomenal power. Coming out of these corners is absolutely ridiculous, the speed on this thing. So I've seen a lot of people use this. Also we have the Ferrari P3, which seems to also be a very fast classic car. And as we go on to the Mulsanne straight, already pulling out a big lead. You can see how that one goes though, because of course it's very difficult to sometimes know your braking points for these tracks. And into the first chicane, looking for a break in the tyre wall, the barrier on the left hand side. Where is it? There it is. You might have just spotted that. There's a very small break in the wall, and you can brake on that. It's taking a very nice line through there. As I just look behind though, the wrong moment, it's going to shove me wide into that wall, and we're going to get overtaken by another Ford GT40. So clearly a very popular choice in this hopper. Just going to tuck into that slipstream. Don't quite have the tune that this guy has. Only 4 gears here, so maxing out here at the top of the 4th gear. So clearly around this kind of track I needed a longer 4th gear, or slightly longer all of the gears. This guy's going to go from some really nice cuts. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. So he's gained about 2 seconds just for that chicane alone, or maybe a second. So we're going to try to tuck back in. We can't be having that, guys. We can't be having that. We can't let someone go cutting those corners like that and beat you. So we've got to do something about this as we come down towards the end of the Mulsanne straight, into the Mulsanne corner. And wow, I just braked so late, and that is something about this car. At high speed it doesn't really turn very much, so almost into the sand there, almost into the gravel, could have really messed me up in big ways. Then on to the back straight as we approach Indianapolis. So still another very long straight here, so of course lots of very long straights at Le Mans. But as he finally gets into gear, you see there he just pulls away. Got a very quick approaching McLaren, who has come to join the party here. Another nice big cut from this guy, and another one there. On the exit of this corner though, we're going to show the acceleration of this car up into 2nd gear. Look at that kick as I just fly away into Arnage. We're up the inside and it's going to be moving. He kind of tried to turn in from the outside. It wasn't going to happen there. The McLaren is trying to get in on the act here, and we have a fairly lengthy straight once again. So of course lots of long straights here, but then we do have the nice flowing final section at Le Mans, the Porsche curves, which might not go well for this Ford. So we'll see how this goes. Into the first one, okay, through there quite nicely, not too badly at all. The direction changes seems to be very strange. I think many of you will agree. Cars like the Alpha 33, they're very quick, even like this car, very quick, but just have something very strange and weird about the handling, which you can't quite explain. But nevertheless, the car is absolutely rapid, very fast, and it seems to be, on this evidence, a very solid car for S-Class. Now coming through the last couple of chicanes, we've got a decent gap now, so we can just take these rather casually, take no risks. And we're going to finish the race in 1st place. So a good start to our career in this car. We just remind this guy they has some really nice cuts there. As we move to Lime Rock, so this is something of a very different circuit. So lots of corners, lots of tight corners, and not really many straights to report of at all. Apart from of course the main straight, but it's not that long. So through the first corner, it's going to take a really narrow line to defend against the Mitsubishi Evo that I was trying to get past. And again through the left-hander here, going to take a very narrow line, and then that gives us a nice line through this one. And we're both running both chicanes here, So already pulling away, just the grunts coming out of the corners is absolutely ridiculous. It's unreal how fast this thing accelerates. Didn't accelerate too quickly there as I stayed in second gear instead of going down to first. But still, when this thing gets going, it really does get going. I'm going to take this final chicane here, and we're going to come through, and then lap 1, a good 200-300 feet ahead. So that's been a really successful first lap. Held off the opposition into turn 1. And once you can do that, you can just accelerate away in this car. It's just so fast. It's going to flash forward to the end of the race because nothing else happened. It was that easy. Going to move to Homestead. This race turned out to be quite funny. There was a funny moment which I will get to in just a moment. Into the first corner, once again unopposed. So once you look behind as you go into the first corner, just have a look. You see if you can take the normal racing line. If you can take it because you're going to get a much better line. You're going to take a faster line and get away even more than what you would have done if you go defensive. Sometimes going defensive at the wrong moment can kind of just invite the pressure onto you. So you see that the McLaren just simply cannot deal with the straight line speed. So of course that guy's got a different tune than the one we saw at Le Mans, but in this instant here, yeah, he's not able to quite keep up on the straight. Did see a flashing of a proximity arrow going through these tight corners at the end of the lap here. So through there, gliding through there quite nicely actually, and then rounding out lap number 1 of 5. Now that's going to round out pretty much all of the interesting stuff apart from this. You can see here, this is the beginning of lap number 5 or end of 4. I just slowed down there just to make sure that that guy wasn't going to swerve off and smash me off. As we go to the first corner, just having a, well, I was going to say a look behind us. It actually mean about 10 looks behind just to make sure he doesn't punt me off. But he isn't the one I should be worrying about. These two are the ones I should be worrying about. So when you have two guys like this lapping very slowly next to each other, that's almost always going to spell trouble. I just backed out there just to kind of test the water, see if he was going to ram me. Ford all over the place in the braking zone, gives me contact there, and then I just kind of brake. He was going to kind of ram me off, and I just casually let him go off on his own. We're going to have to look at that again, because we go through. He expects me to carry on. Nope, see you later mate, you can just go into that wall, thank you very much. Another first place. We moved to Silverstone. We're going to test out the overtaking ability of this car, because we gave a couple of easy performances from first place, it must be said. So we might as well test it out, see if we can go through and overtake a couple of people. Seems like we can do that already. Aerial atom all over the place, up into 8th place already. Delta on the right hand side, around his outside. Now this guy is going to open up a gap here. I'm just going to look up the inside, but he's just going to turn in way too early. I mean, he's still even cut the corner despite making contact with me, or despite the fact that I pushed him a bit. But I wasn't really expecting to turn in that early, because he would have cut that by about 20 metres. Oh well, no worries at all. I'm just going to look around the outside coming into this section. Oh, just squeezed past. Very close to making contact. We just about don't though. And then coming into this one, you see that just the exit speed of this car is just absolutely ridiculous. He's going to come in for the overtake. I'm going to get back once again to get the undercut on the exit. And then that is really how you overtake in a lot of these powerful cars. I think undercutting people on the exit is often the really good way to overtake. Or just overtake them on the straight, of course, which is often very easy. If you can't quite do that, undercut them on the exit, wait for them to go wide, and then just accelerate into the gap that develops, and you should be able to get away. So that's often the best way to overtake a lot of people. It's weird on this game, because I think a lot of the time I probably overtake more people coming out of a corner than I do going in. And it's just the way it works sometimes. But now I seem to find myself at the back of a nice 4-way battle for second. I do like these little battles when it develops like this. So you can see that the Celine S7 is not a slow car in a straight line. I was actually even quicker than he was. He went way defensive going in there, kind of unnecessarily, and that's kind of given a slow exit once again, overtaking someone on the exit of the corner. Into Vale, a little bit deep on the brakes. Yeah, definitely a bit too deep. Mercedes is going to resume 3rd place there. Go back in. Just kind of overcorrect the corner there and just drift wide. So once again, just the handling of the car kind of catching me out. Celine the S7 alongside, but we're just going to resume 4th place. You see the power of this car powering me ahead of a Celine S7, which is certainly not a slow car. One of the quicker cars in S class. This car just makes light work of it. through the first complex here, one of the, some of the slower corners on the circuit. So of course Silverstone was always one of the fast flowing circuits on the F1 calendar. This kind of section here, or the section we've just gone through, does certainly slow it down quite a bit, but we are away into the long left, past the Mercedes, who went very wide on the exit of the preceding corner. We're going to have to deal with the Porsche now to try and gain second. I don't think first place is on the menu today, but second place certainly could be. A bit of grass cutting there as we tried to get the power on. The car not quite cooperating. Couldn't quite get that sentence out. As we get into the slipstream into Copse corner, the old turn 1. Porsche perhaps looking behind at the wrong moment. He goes way too wide and up into second place. That is a decent overtake. Or not, I mean, it was just capitalising on your mistake really, but I guess if you don't make the mistakes and the other people do, then you're just going to go past. So a good job there. We're going to try to round out this final lap through the S's and the Magnus Beckett section, as it's correctly named. Through there quite nicely actually. The car actually handles okay. You know, it's a weird handling car. I think once you get to grips with it, literally, it does handle a lot better. It is a decent car. You will get beaten by other better handling cars, of course, but it's just this acceleration coming out of the corners in second gear. Wow, it just pulls so well. The tune I'm using is by GTZ Lucifer, I believe it is. Or was it one of the GTZ guys? I mean, there's a couple of guys that do make tunes. Marple, Lucifer, Liquid. We've got a couple of guys there, Roshi as well. They all make tunes and they're normally quite good. But we're going to come to the final race of the video. You see it on pole position just ahead of us, another Ford GT40, so this could get very interesting. And we're going to give it a test 2 laps around the full Suzuka in S-Class in the rain. So this one could get very tasty indeed. So of course, as I've said, the handling is kind of weird, so you know it kind of leaves room for a mistake to be made. It could definitely happen. Let's see if it does happen. Through the S's, the leader there, the pole position guy, kept his own so far. Almost into the back of him, just have to back off. Receive a nice punt in the rear end from the Viper behind. He wasn't quite patient enough. But no worries there. So you see there a weird correction. That's kind of the weird handling of the car, kind of almost biting me. And then through Dunlop curve, just a bit wide there. The Viper right on me. So this is going to be a really interesting race, I think. When you have the GT40, the Viper, the 08 Viper has always been a really good car. I think that is the 08 Viper, possibly, or it might be the 13 SRT Viper. Couldn't quite make it out from here, as I only had a very quick glance behind. Into the hairpin. He's a little bit deep. I'm going to look for that cutback on the exit. But as I've said before, you can get that cutback, but he's in exactly the same car, presumably in a very similar tune. I've made contact there, and he was so close to going off. Really glad that he didn't, because that kind of would have been my fault. So I think that is the 08 Viper, is it? Into Spoon Curve. Viper up the inside. That Viper should have better handling, especially in the rain as well, although the GT40's come back at him, and I'm going to come back at him as well. He's taken a really bad line there. I think if you get onto that curve, it can suck you off. So we have sand in Dubai that can suck you off. We also have curbs at Suzuka which can suck you off. It's one of those worlds we live in. Into 130R. I always think it's a right-hander when I think 130R. It's obviously a left-hander. Just the radius 130. Into the chicane. Oh, he's gone way too deep. Oh no, that's not the line you want, mate. That is not the line you want. I'm into first place, so we're probably not going to get a challenge from him anymore because he's in the wall, and mechanics and marshals are rescuing him right now. But we will have a challenge from this Viper, I presume. Let's see how this final lap goes. I'm not going to cut it anywhere. We're just going to go throughout this final lap and see how it goes. So running out turn 2, so through there okay. The puddles are forming, got to definitely watch out for those, don't go through them at all. You might as well just completely avoid them if you can. Of course some of them, like that one there, they just go across that entire circuit, you can do nothing about it. But some on the side of the track, there's some on in the curbs as well, they form on the curbs. You do want to avoid them if you can. Are there any puddles that are gravity defying? Of course we had the ones at Spa which just sat on Eau Rouge and just never moved, defying gravity. Not sure how that one worked, but we had lots of gravity-defying puddles on Forza 6. I'm not sure we're getting quite as many on this one. Perhaps the rain is not quite able to do that anymore. Lost its ability. Into the hairpin, braking at the end of the curve, going into the nice apex. Perfectly done. First gear on the way out. First gear is quite common in this car, of course. Only 4 gears in this car. So you're going to go down into first gear for most of the slower corners, and it really does give you good drive on the exit. The Viper is fairly close on my tail. He's not right on me, but a 200 feet gap in S class, you know, it's not the same as a 200 feet gap in C class. 200 in C class is technically a bigger gap because these cars cover that ground a lot faster. So it would be really nice, I think, if we had time gaps. I think that's the true way. That's the way it's measured in motorsport. You never see this person is this far behind in terms of distance. I think this person is this far behind in terms of time. Sometimes, I suppose, in endurance races you do get distance like this person 2 laps behind or whatever. But it's almost always measured in time. Anyway, drifting out of the final corner, we're going to come across the line to win. Turns out the GT40, yeah, it is very, very fast. Borderline OP/OP, yeah, I would admit that. But it's always good to give it a go and see how it goes. I probably won't be using it too many times again because it is just simply too good. It's just a nice challenge to use something a bit slower. So that car there, the Ford GT40, yes, a very, very fast OP car for S-Class. But it was a good couple of races there. I hope you enjoyed this video as always, guys. I shall see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always. Do smash that like button if you enjoyed. And I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.